All right, so the last types of problems that you're going to see in this particular section, they're called clock problems. All right, because you're basically finding the angles between the hands of a clock. So it says find the angle that's formed by the hands of the clock at each time. So the first one, we're going to start basic, is 4 o'clock. Nice and easy. Hour hand's on the 4, minute hand is on the 12. So now we have some important things to remember here. So a clock is a circle. A circle is equal to 360 degrees. Within that circle, we have, if you count them, 12 to the 1, 1 to the 2, 2 to the 3, 3 to the 4, all the way around, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different intervals. So if we take that 360 and divide it by 12, we find out that each of those intervals is equal to 30 degrees. So each block is 30. So for 4 o'clock, like I said, it's nice and easy because you're exactly on the 4 and you're exactly on the 12. So we want this angle right here. So we double check. We say, all right, well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 30, this is 30, this is 30, and this is 30. So 4 times 30 gets us 120 degrees. What shifts, though, is when you are not right on the actual hour hand itself. And so if you're not on the hour hand itself, like 5:15, the hour hand is going to be now a quarter of the way from the 5 to the 6. Things have to shift here. So what I would suggest is I only drew the bigger version here. So I'm going to draw another one up here. So I have 12, 3, 6, and 9. If I fill in my values here, so I have 5:15. So it's on the 3. And then again, the hour hand is between the 5 and the 6. It's not 5 o'clock, so it's between, which means you got to put, I'm going to put a little dotted line here. Now, you are always looking for the angle that is between the two hands that is going clockwise. So if you start at the 12 and work your way around, we have our first hand right here, and to the second hand, that small angle is what we are looking for. So the blown up version is right here. So within that small angle, the first question you ask yourself is how many full intervals of 30 do we have? Well, we're going from 3 to the 4 and 4 to the 5. So 3 to the 4 and 4 to the 5. So that means no matter what, I am starting with 2 30s, which puts me at 60. So I have that to work with. Now the smaller piece, or the little wedge that we have to think about, how far it moved from the 5 to the 6, is what you do is you take the minute hand, which is 3. So you take the minute hand and you put it over 12, because that's how many there are. So part to whole, it moved 3 numbers, so we were on the 3 out of 12 pieces, so that's 1/4. So basically, the minute hand moved a quarter of the way around, which means the hour hand moved a quarter of the way around from the 5 to the 6. Now each of those intervals is 30, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 1/4 of 30, which gives us 7.5. Now, there are 2 places that 7.5 could go. It could go from the 5 to the dotted line that we drew, or from the dotted line to the 6. When you do that fraction multiplied by 30, that number you get, no matter what, is always going from the lower number to the higher number. Then, to figure out what's left, is we do 30 minus 7.5, which gets us 22.5, which goes from the dotted line to the next number. And then what you have to focus on is, all right, is the 22.5 inside the angle that we want, or the 7.5? Well, if this is the angle that we want right here, the 7.5 is what falls in between. So that's why we're doing 60 plus 7.5, or 7.5, which gets us 67.5 degrees. All right, we will do another one of those momentarily, but let's do 7 o'clock. All right, so 7 o'clock, same idea, nice and easy. Right on the 7. Right on the 12. So we are looking from clockwise, from the 12, which is where we hit the first hand, to the next hand. And within that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 intervals of 30. So 7 times 30 is 210 degrees. Now I'm going to give you one more here, and I'm going to say, let's say 4:45. 4:45. Okay, so let's step 1, draw a clock. So we have 12, 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. And 4:45 is, minute hand is on the 9 for 45, and then the hour hand is between the 4 and the 5. So first of all, the angle we want, if you start at the 12 and work your way around, it's from the first hand to the second hand. So this is the angle that we're looking for right here. Within that angle, you first ask how many full intervals of 30. So 5 to the 6, 6 to the 7, 7 to the 8, 8 to the 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we cannot be less than 120 degrees. That's where we're starting at. So now to figure out what our missing piece is going to be, we take the minute hand, so minute hand, and you put it over 12. So the minute hand is on the 9, and we're going to put that over 12. And when we reduce that, we get 3 over 4. Then you are taking 3/4 of one interval, which is 30. And when you simplify, you get 22.5. Now that 22.5, that goes from the lower number to the dotted line. So the 22.5 is going right there, which means what's left to make 30 is 7.5. Now we're using the same numbers that we did with B, but now if you look at the angle we actually want, you have to ask yourself, does the 22.5 fall in that angle or does the 7.5? And in this case, it's the 7.5. So we're starting with 120 and we're going to add 7.5 to it, which gets us 127.